Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Senior Living Today. September 21st is World Alzheimer's Day. On today's episode, we will be bringing awareness to Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia, and we'll be discussing what it is, signs of memory changes to look for in your loved ones, and how to know when it's time to consider moving to a senior living community. I'm pleased to have Stacey Walters with me today to talk about everything Alzheimer's and all the signs and things to look for.
All right, thank you for having me.
So today we're going to discuss some warning signs that are associated with memory changes. I know there can be a lot of confusion between normal cognitive changes that happen with age and when there might be something more to worry about. It might be a sign of Alzheimer's developing. So today we're going to walk through 10 different warning signs that you can be looking for with your loved ones. So before we jump into warning signs, I do want to explain the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia because those terms are used interchangeably a lot of times. So Alzheimer's is essentially a type of dementia. There are multiple different types of dementia, and Alzheimer's is a type of that. So now let's jump into the warning signs. Let's talk about memory loss first. So you'll hear people talk about both short-term and long-term memory loss. What should family members be looking for or expect?
Well, short-term memory loss, I think of losing your keys, maybe forgetting what you went into a room for, small things like that. You get into the long-term, and you're really forgetting about life events, family members, things that you used to do. So I think there's quite a big difference in the short-term, like even some of us might have without a diagnosis, and then the long-term that comes with having a long-term diagnosis of Alzheimer's.
So what about changes with problem-solving skills? What are some signs to look for with that?
Yeah, I think, waking up in the morning and just your daily routine, how do I open up this can? What's in the fridge? How do I open up this container to prepare a meal? How do I work the microwave? Small things like that you've done continuously your whole life and now all of a sudden are having a problem with.
And then what about difficulty completing tasks? Because I know sometimes I'll get overwhelmed or maybe forget that I'm in the middle of something and move on to something else. So when is that normal and when is it maybe a sign that something more serious is going on?
I think that when it starts affecting your daily activities of living is when it becomes a problem. So say you go to get ready in the morning and, you start to bathe and you forget, well, wait a minute, what comes next? What am I supposed to do? Do I get dressed before, after? I think when it really starts to affect your daily routine and your families is when you should really seek some help.
So confusion with time or place is another thing that we commonly see with somebody who might be in the beginning stages of Alzheimer's. When does this become concerning?
I think it becomes concerning maybe if somebody's waking up in the middle of the night and they start to get ready for their day and might walk outside. I think you really have to look at the safety of the situation and see how safe your loved one is when things like that start to happen.
So also if they have somebody that they're used to going every day, like maybe their local grocery store and they were to get lost or not be able to find their way back, would that be something that would be concerning?
Yes, definitely. And driving, being out and about, maybe making it to an unfamiliar place and not being able to make your way home or being able to ask for help.
So another thing we'll see with those who have Alzheimer's is vision problems. How does vision change when somebody has Alzheimer's?
Well, depth perception definitely changes. You might reach for something and be off a few inches to the side, and that can be very frustrating to your loved one. And also reading, not being able to do your regular reading of the newspaper or books or follow directions, and also not being able to see and communicate that you can't see can be very scary.
So communication problems are actually next on our list of warning signs. So what should loved ones be looking for with communication issues?
Well, definitely communication issues is a big deal, especially if you have a loved one who might be experiencing pain or sickness and they can't let you know how they're feeling or what's going on with their body. And also frustration, love, not being able to communicate things properly to your family and your loved ones would be very frustrating and very isolating.
So misplaced items. I know this is a big topic and it's kind of hard to tell when is it normal, when is it a cause for concern, because I know I misplaced my keys and my cell phone. I'm like, where did I put that? I know a lot of people do that. So when should it be seen as a warning sign, whether just a part of, normal forgetfulness?
Well, we all forget things every once in a while, but if you look at the frequency of forgetfulness, I think maybe a pattern to what they're forgetting, things that they're doing in their daily routine, that can be concerning. And like I said, just all around their welfare for the day and their happiness and how things are going. You start misplacing very important items and you could have a problem. Car keys are one, checkbook, credit card, wallet, that's a whole nother thing.
So poor judgment is also considered to be a warning sign. Do you have some examples of what that might look like?
Oh, yeah. Stepping in and out of the shower, going downstairs. Safety to me, maybe getting something out under the sink. Is it a poisonous item or is it a food item? That can happen. So I think when you think of their safety and their health, then it can be concerning.
And then another thing we might see is withdrawal from social activities, work. What type of signs should loved ones be looking for when it comes to withdrawing?
Yeah, not doing the things that they love to do, their hobbies, their clubs. When they start staying at home, maybe because of fear of getting lost or saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, that can be social isolation, and that can be horrible for the whole family.
So then the last warning sign I want to talk about is changes in mood and personality. This is something that we tend to see when somebody is in the beginning stages of Alzheimer's or even further down in the disease. So what should somebody be looking for as far as changes in personality and mood? A bad day versus this is something to be concerned about.
Anger over the small things that they used to do and can't do now. That would be very frustrating to not do small tasks that you used to do easily. They tend to take their anger out on the ones that they love the most because they know those people are going to be there for them always. So if you have someone who's snipping at you constantly, not wanting to leave, everything that you do is wrong, I think that just comes from frustration within because they can't do the things that they used to do.
So if somebody starts to see some of these signs in a family member, what should they do next? What type of options are available for them?
I think they definitely need to reach out to their medical professional. There's lots of things that they can put them in the right direction and things they can set up for them to see what road they need to go down that's going to work best for their loved one and their family. There's lots of options out there.
So as we finish today, I would like to if you have any advice for loved ones who might be experiencing some of these symptoms with those in their life, what would you like to share with those families?
Definitely seek help. Don't try to do everything on your own. There are people out there who care and can give you lots of ideas and tricks. Reach out to local organizations and support groups and find a community of people who are going through the same things that you are and who can help you and care for you, and definitely take care of yourself. You cannot take care of your loved ones if you don't take care of yourself first.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you again for joining me today. I know the information that's been shared is going to be helpful to a lot of families out there. So I really appreciate you going through the warning signs with me. Mm-hmm. Thank you to all of our listeners. If you know of someone or if you have friends and family in your life that may be experiencing something similar to this, please pass this podcast along for them to listen to just to see if it would be helpful. As always, please subscribe to our podcast and we will be back again in 2 weeks.